Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you guys made it. I know there was a post that went out saying it was at 9. Someone didn't get the memo, which is completely fine. But I'm glad you guys made it. Thank you for coming. So, I just let's see. Only got 10 people here. I think we missed a bunch of people this morning, but we still got 2 more minutes. So we'll wait for them to start. How is everyone today? Is there anybody here that is here for the first time, and we can go over some first time stuff? If there is, let me know in the chat. Just so Edna, welcome. I'm glad you're here. So, just for those of you guys that don't know and that are new, my name is Carly Grunman. I help Pace with the Elephant Challenge, but I am also an Elephant Challenge leader, Sub 2 mastermind student, and want to just help you guys get your first deal. So, I am not required to do this as part of helping Pace, but I want to help newbies get their first deal. So, for those of you that are just starting, we are going to get a get started guide together so you guys can get all caught up to where we are. And we're going to go. So Pace's first decided we were going to do agent outreach. So we were doing agent outreach. We got a good roll on that. And then he started the Elephant Challenge and we did pre-foreclosure. So what we're going to do is you guys got on a really good roll with agent outreach. It's a lot easier for newbies to start out on because you don't have to pay for lists and you can find stuff easy on the MLS. So what I teach you guys is how to find motivated sellers, how to talk to agents, how to get people find a good deal that could be a good deal, and what the scripts are, and what are pain points and motivations for selling. And then what we have you guys do is you submit your lead. So all you guys have to do is submit leads and say, I got someone that's interested. And then my team and I will go through the leads, contact the agents, and we'll be in touch with you guys. We will, when you submit your stuff, we submit your information. We'll either email or text you and give you feedback this is a good deal. And this is our conversation that we had with the agent. So you guys can listen, and we hold your hands throughout the whole process. Or if it's not a deal, that's fine. You guys are learning. So we'll be like, hey, thanks for submitting this deal. This is why it's not a deal. A, B, C, D. This is what you can look at to find a good deal. And we coach you along the way. So, and then if the deal gets the idea for these are to get the deals closed and get it under contract creatively or at a low cash offer price. And then we wholesale these. Wholesaling, Pace talked about this on the Elephant Challenge, is where you get a deal under contract and you assign the contract to a buyer. So that's our goal with this. I know a lot of people are like, I want to get into this. I want to do it myself. You can do it yourself. It's going to cost a lot of money to get into a deal. It's probably around 10 to 15% of the sales price. So if you bring us a $500,000 or a $100,000 deal, you're going to have to bring 10% in. And so today we're going to go over agent outreach. And I do want to go over something real quick. So have you guys all watched the most recent Elephant Challenge? Let me know in the chat. Pace talks about how to find your market. Dustin, Edna, yes. So did you guys watch all of it where Pace went on this tangent of how we pick our market, right? So, and Pace was going in there and he's like, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then he's like, okay, what's everybody's market? And people would still put New York and California in there. So, for those of you that are brand new, I'll just give you the TLDR version. Blue states, this is not a political statement. It's not politically motivated, but typically blue states, are not landlord friendly. And they are not business friendly. Lots of taxes, lots of tape to get through, et cetera, et cetera. So I just posted something. I a TikTok I saw last night, which is a perfect example. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I put it on my stories on Instagram, and I also put it on the Building an Empire group chat. I'm like, this is why we don't pick California. If you like money and you're an investor, you don't pick states like California. California might be a great state to live in. It is not a great state to do business in. So, why? Go watch that TikTok I put up. This guy is in downtown Seattle. Like, King County is the worst. You couldn't pay me to invest. You couldn't give me a house for free in King County to rent out, because this guy rented out his house in King County, which is in a blue state, which is Seattle. Yeah, Angela's like, it's scandalous. It's so crazy. Just go watch it. This guy can't get his house back. The renter's not paying rent, and he's renting it out on Airbnb. So he's making like $3,000 to $4,000 a month and not paying rent, and he can't do anything about it because these blue states give more power to the renters than the actual owners. So he's living out of a van right now. My Instagram is at Carly Grenman. I'll put it right here. Carly dot. It's my first and last name with a dot in the middle. So that's why. And then last time I was like, what are your states? And everyone's like, California. And I'm like, you guys can invest in California if you want to, but if you guys, the goal of this is to get deals closed and we wholesale them out to other investors and we make money on them, and you can make money on them. So when we're thinking about, we want to begin with the end in mind. So California, it's going to be hard to get a buyer for that. It's expensive. The taxes are high. There's a lot of red tape to get through to do business. And renters have more rights than the owners to the house. So, anyways, so I just wanted to say, go check that out if you guys haven't seen that yet. It's just crazy. I live in Washington State. For my husband's job, we live here. That's why we're here, because he drives big boats, and you can't do that in Idaho where I'm from. So he drives those ferry boats. So we're here in Washington, and we own our property here, and we have about 2 acres, and we wanted to, in our backyard, there's a shed already there. We wanted to build a garage with an apartment above. And so, if we were to do that, we'd have to spend about $15,000 in soil tests and biologics and like petitioning the city to be approved. And so we're like, it's hard. It's just hard to do business here. And then our city, I live in Gig Harbor, Washington, is outlawing Airbnbs, and you have to ask the city if you want to Airbnb it. And then if they say yes, so you have to pay them $1,500 to just apply. That's not a guarantee yes. And then if you say yes, if they say yes, they're like, well, you have to be there, and there has to be only like 2 people per room, and they can only stay there for X amount. Like, there's just, it's a disaster. So there's just like so much like oversight. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, this is why you don't want to do business as an investor in blue states. It's a pain. But I'm off my high horse now. I am now off my soapbox. Angela says, my dad's neighbor in Portland didn't even make his first mortgage payment. He was living there for 3 years before he got foreclosed on and evicted. Portland is a disaster. Like, that's another thing. Yes, that's totally normal in Portland. So, anyway, so that's why we want to begin with the end in mind, and we want to think like an investor. Angela, you're right. She says it's not the Portland I grew up in as a kid. It's like completely different. My aunt and uncle and my cousins grew up there, and they moved to Costa Rica, and they go back and they're like, oh my God, what happened to Portland? Jesse, if you want to change your location, you can or not. I know you're doing a lot. You're more Eastern Washington. So Eastern Washington is a lot easier than King County, which is Seattle. For those of you guys who don't know, Washington is like split down the middle, like politically, like all of Western Washington is blue or Western Washington is blue, Eastern Washington is red. And the colors depend on the laws that they make by the cities. So you don't have to completely change your location. Jesse, you're in Idaho. I'm from Idaho, and that's my #1 market. So if you have anything in Idaho, send it my way. You guys don't have to completely change your market so Jesse, I think you're looking into multifamily, I think mostly, which is different. But if you guys are selling me California leads, I don't even want to look at them. I will look at them, but please don't. So I'm going to send you guys, they're not impossible. If you guys want to be like investing in California, Gary Sheftes, I'm probably butchering the crap out of his name, not on purpose. He is like largely in California. And I suggest you go to that Elephant Leader group. He is like 1,000% California. He lives there. He's a realtor there. He does business there. Like that's his jam. I'm also going to share with you guys something. So it's not just California. I'm going to share this with you guys and like, what is a good deal then? You keep telling us what not to send you. Tell me what we can send you. So let me find, here, it's going to be easier if I go to the Elephant Challenge together. Let's share my screen. I'll show you where to find it. Share screen. Okay, share. Okay, so we go to the Elephant Challenge together. If you guys are not in here, you guys are watching this on YouTube, get into the Elephant Challenge, www.elephantchallenge.info, and it gets you into this community. You have to get in through that way. So you'll find all of this. You are in Building an Empire with Jen and Carly. Jen is not going to be here as much. She's mostly focusing on multifamily. So we're still partners. We're still building an empire together. She's just, my zone of genius is single family and wholesaling, and hers is multifamily. And so I'm like, go be free in the multifamily land. I will do the things. So she's doing stuff with that. Okay. So group chat right here. This is where you guys are. You're in Building an Empire in our group chat. I've pinned this to the top and take a look at this. So here's where you guys submit your deals. Criteria for a great deal: 10% or lower entry fee. What is an entry fee? Agent commission, assignment fee, cash to seller, arrears, closing costs, sub-4 interest rate. So an interest rate below 4%. It cash flows on a long-term rental. You guys don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of this. We'll find out if it is. No balloon. What's a balloon? Does anybody know what a balloon is? Let me know in the chat if you guys know what a balloon is. Yeah, we can do a practice example. I love that idea. Okay, so you guys all know what a balloon is. For those of you that don't, it's like saying like, okay, we'll sell or finance it, or we'll sub to it, which is taking over the mortgage, not assuming the mortgage. Assuming mortgage assumption and sub to are two different things. A lot of people think they're the same. It says, okay, well, I'll sub to you my property, but you have to refinance out of it in X amount of years. That X amount of years is a balloon. So they get their money back in X amount of years. If it is 7 years and under, it is likely not going to be a good deal. Yes, you are right, Mo. You have to pay off the balance at the asset amount of years. Yeah. How do I find out the entry fee? So if you're looking right here and right here, entry fee includes, that's what we're going over right now, agent commission, which is usually 2.5% to 3% of the sales price, an assignment fee, which is no less than $10,000, cash to seller, if any, arrears. I don't know why I put money here. I think I was playing around with something for like a deal. Ignore the numbers. I'll take those out. And then closing costs, which are about 2% of the sales price. So that is your entry fee. All added up, that has to be within 10% of a deal. No balloon, big city population, not going to find a lot of investors wanting to pick up your deal in a population of 700. We love landlord-friendly states and population growth trending upwards, which is also all of these. What if the closing cost is higher in your area? Closing costs are a small percentage of the entry fee. They should not be above, they're like 3%. That should not be a huge, the biggest things that are going to be a red flag are if the agent's like, yeah, and we want 50% down. That's a 50% entry fee plus everything else. So no. Closing costs, I would not worry about. That should be the least of your worries. Oh, sorry, Dane, they were confusing you. They're confusing me too. I don't know why the hell the numbers are in there. I think I was working on something and I was using that as like a thing. So I will go remove those for you guys. They are super confusing. So those are, and so what I'm going to do, and I keep telling you guys I'm going to do this, but I promise I'm going to do this is, I'm going to go through old ones and I have like whole Zooms that we went through and like how to find your market, how to talk to agents, blah, blah, blah. And so before you guys come here, you guys can go through this like crash course on like all of this stuff and then come here. Okay. So Steve says, is market rent part of the criteria? So, yes, that would be cash flows on a LTR, which is a long-term rental. You guys don't have to worry about that as much. It's like, don't be like, oh, well, it won't cash flow, or I don't know how to find out if it cash flows. That's okay. But yes, it is. It is part of it. For sure. So someone was asking, okay, Angela, let me answer this real quick. Angela says, what's the end game with a balloon? Buyer pays everything at the end. Yes. So if you're like sub to it to me for 7 years and I'll refinance out when the mortgage interest rates are lower, you'll get your money. So the idea is a lot of investors may not keep their properties for 7 years. They might like sell it and cash out on the equity and then like go put that equity money that they make into it. Equity is what you owe minus what it sells for. So if it's positive, you have positive equity and they'll take that money and put it into another thing. So 7 years is like the shortest balloon we will ever take, but don't, when you guys are calling agents, don't be like, and we'll balloon it out. Like it's a tool in our tool belt for when we're like negotiating. Don't show them all your cards at once. Just be like, with what you guys are looking for. If you guys want to find motivated sellers that are open to creative and have a lower entry fee, the ideal is to have no equity, which means they're going to have to pay to close. Let's see. What else do we have? Mario, should we put an indemnification clause in our sub 2 agreement? I heard this protects the case and the seller files bankruptcy. So what you guys are doing here, if you have the sub 2 documents and I don't think you're going to need my help, Mario. If you have the documents and you know, like the clauses and everything, I don't know if you want to, it may not be beneficial for you to bring it to us. So what we're doing is we're teaching you guys along the way. We bring you guys find a seller that's open to it. And then we take you guys along the way. We bring the documents, we do any clauses, we do negotiations, we hire the TC, we find the buyer. So we will do all of that. And that indemnification clause, that is a question for the TC. TC is transaction coordinator, and they're the one making all the documents and protecting all the people. Yeah. And then you guys do get paid on your leads. So you guys are bringing us warm deals, warm leads. So you are being paid like a bird dog on all of this, and you get to learn creative along the way. So we'll take you along the way and we'll be like, here's a call with the seller. We called the agent and this is like what we're doing. And this is where we are. And this is how we negotiated. And you can hear the calls and everything. So it's for you guys to learn how to get in here. If you guys are putting in clauses and you have a sub 2 agreement, you probably don't need me or Jen or us. We are more than happy to JV with you though. But any questions on that, you guys? So these are good deals. Hard pass, entry fee 20%. balloon is 5 years or under. I'm going to change that to 7 years, 6 years or under. Negative cash flow. Does everybody know what cash flow is? That's how much you can make on it minus how much the bills are for it. So the leftover money is cash flow. And if it's negative, it means you're paying for those people to live there. Is there a list for a cash option that's not an option? If you're looking for cash deals, it's going to probably be 30% below market value, 30 to 40%. So whatever market value is, 40%. Nobody really wants to do those. There's not going to be a lot of cash deals here. We like to say cash terms last. We're like, yeah, we'll give you cash, but it's going to be 40% under what you want or 30%. And they're like, hell no. And you're like, okay, then I got some terms for you. I can take over your mortgage. Anything super discounted if it's a cash deal. Do we get numbers for cash flow from the agent, or is it publicly available? So it can be publicly available. If do you guys have Privy? There's different ways like Privy and PropStream where you can find out the public information of what they owe. So you can ask the agent, be like, what's their mortgage payment? You can ask them. You can also, for those of you guys that have Privy, let's log right into Privy. I'm using Corey's. Corey doesn't come here anymore, but if you're watching, Corey, we miss you. He was a regular and he let me use his Privy login. Okay. So let's do Salt Lake City. Let's just pick a house. I'm just going to pick a house right here. This is like where I grew up. Right over here. Okay. So you can open these guys. You can come down here to mortgage history and you can find out what their mortgage history looks like. So it looks like they there's not in here. I thought Privy had the payments. I thought Privy had how much it is. So I guess it just has the mortgage history. What I use, and I do not suggest you guys go get it for this situation. Hold on. This is what we use. And this is something you guys do not need to find out before you submit a lead. All you guys have to do is find out if they're open to creative or low cash offer. So let's find, this is a deal we're looking at right now. So right here, this is how we do it. We have somebody on our team go through and look at this stuff. So we see that their estimated loan payment is $1,253.48 right here. They have a loan amount of $301,000 at a 2.9% rate. And this does not include taxes and insurance. So I always just like add an extra $300 just as a buffer. So I'm going to say the PITI property principal, this is principal and interest. Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance will probably be around $1,550, right? So then I can come over here and copy this address if it will let me and come over to Zillow or Rentometer. You can come over here to Zillow. Rentometer is a good one. See if it's in here. And they'll say rent estimate. Estimated monthly cost. That's not it. Let's keep going. Sometimes they're hard to find when they're listed. Public, let's see. Where is it? Of course, it's on here when I'm trying to look for it. Calculate your monthly cost. Rent estimate right here. So this is $25.27 a month. So, and then we were like, okay, we guess that it's going to be 25, 27. Oops. You guys can't see my calculator, but 2527 minus it was 2550, which was our, so that negative cash flow is $23. That's not that big of a deal. We can make it happen. If there's no balloon, like you can, that's just long-term. So those are long-term rental rates. People could short-term this. Yeah, Rentometer starts charging if you've used it like 6 times, and then they're like, pay for it. Let's see. What else? PropStream does have the payments. Batch does this too. So you guys do not go. Oh, Mo says, isn't the PITI 1550, not 2550? Let's go back and look. You're right. I can't do math. So it will positive cash flow, like almost $1,000. Mo, you're right. You caught it. So that's how you guys can find out if it cash flows. That's something that you guys don't need to find out. We have the team go through. So when we underwrite it, you guys, all you guys have to do is like, are you open for a deal? What are the warm lead fees percentage paid to a baby elephant? So, you guys get paid based off of different things. So if you just bring us a warm lead and we close it, it's about $500. If you go to our JV agreement, where is that thing? If you go to elephant.aurorainvest.com, this is where you guys will submit your leads. Right here is the JV agreement that you agree to. So there's different things. If you are boots on the ground, you get an extra 500. If you bring a lead from a list that's provided, it's $500. We're not providing lists. That's just, this is how all elephant leaders do this. If you bring a signed purchase agreement with an LOI or LOI from the list provided, or from something that you find on your own, you'll be eligible for 1,000. If you bring a buyer, you get another 1,000. So you guys can make money on this. If you just are bringing us warm leads and we're closing them and we're just teaching you and there's nothing else, then we will $500. So all you guys are doing is calling and being like, hey, are you interested in creative? And they say yes. And then you submit a form and then we teach you everything we know and you get $500. Was I not sharing my screen? Oh, dang it. Share. Let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. Elephant.aurorainvest.com. Whoops. You put in all of your stuff here. And then right here in hot pink is a JV agreement that you agree to by submitting this. And it says also, please don't go to other sub 2 students. We know when people do. We know you if you do, because we're all friends, all other elephant leaders. I mean, we're not going to fight each other for it, but it's just not the best business ethics, because everything in this business is all relationship related. And when you crap on your reputation, then you're not gonna, it's all part of your reputation. Sub 2 is small. We're like, oh, hey, yeah, I know another baby elephant. I got it closed and I was not smart about it and he took it. It is what it is. The karma will get back to him. But we just ask you guys, don't shop this deal around. Because we all will find out about it and it's just a bunch of wasted time for everybody because everybody's working the same deal. So please don't do that. Okay. Any other questions before we get going? Sub 2, let's see. So when we're talking about leads, we're talking about, somebody posted in our group chat, like, the MLS says open to seller finance. Can I submit that? You can. You have to talk. You guys can't just go mine MLS for seller finance and not talk to them. You're going to have to talk to them. You're going to have to find out some information. We need all of the information from you guys here. The more information we get, the faster we can move, and we don't have to go back and forth for you guys. So you guys will have to talk to them first. Don't give us a list to call and close that has not been talked to yet. So, Jen said no bed and breakfast. So yes, Jesse says, Jen said no bed and breakfast, so I can offer elsewhere. Yes. If we're like, this is not a deal for us, Jesse, absolutely go take that to wherever your heart desires. You gave us first dibs, and we appreciate that. So there's no qualms with that. Dave says, any thoughts on properties that have very to little no equity, but the interest rate is 5 to 6.5% range? I love this question, Dave. This is such a great question. We like low equity, and I suggest you guys get into Privy so you can see what the equity is. So equity is what they owe, what they can sell it for minus what they owe. So we love no equity deals because that means they likely, if they're on the market, they're going to have to pay 3% seller commission to their agent and 3% to the buyer's agent. So that's 6% of the sales price right there. They're going to have to pay closing costs. They're going to have to pay concessions, which are like, there's a crack in the driveway, please fix it. I don't like the door squeak, please fix that. So they're going to have to, and by the end of the day, they're probably going to have to write a check because there's no equity in there. Those are excellent. Send us all the low equity deals. And even if they're 5.5 to 6%, that's not ideal, but that's okay. Why? High interest rates are fine. What investors, even if it doesn't cash flow or if it cash flows a little bit, the more properties an investor have, the more write-offs they have for taxes. So they can just use that for a tax write-off. And we all know that real estate will always appreciate in value, and they will eventually make money one day, or they can refinance, or they can sell it in 10 years and grab the equity out while using it as a tax write-off. Or they can wait until there's 2% interest rates again and they can refi out of it if they want to keep it. So we love no equity deals. Send us all. If you guys want to get Privy, I would go to www.startwithprivy, use promo code PACE just to get 20% off your first month. Privy.com, promo code PACE. So you can see, do they have equity? You can go in here. Remember how I showed you guys how to look up the mortgage info? So you're like, what they owe on it minus what it's listed for. And if those numbers are super close together, they have no equity. But that was a really, really good question. So David says, I have a deal. They're open to it. So you can always submit it to us. That's what we're here for. Grant says, hey, David, they are open to creative. That's the biggest step of finding out. So yeah, we have PropStream. We can find all that information. We'll underwrite it. We'll take you guys through on underwriting it and talking to the agent and blah, 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 blah. So feel free to put those in if you want. What else? What about listing with low equity, but higher interest rate? So that's what we were just talking about. Low equity and high interest rate. That's okay. Exactly what we were just talking about. People can do a rate buy down if they want. They can hold on to it for a tax write-off. Does PropStream give enough loan equity info? No, you guys, especially for those that you guys are like, I need PropStream to look it up. I would not rely on PropStream. I would not buy PropStream just to look it up, or Batch, or whatever things do, because one, they're expensive and use us. We pay for it. And two, they're not always right. I was talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I have a 2% rate. And I'm like, plenty, because PropStream says it's 4% and it's way off. That is just like a good guesstimate. You guys are going to, if they're open to it, then you guys are going to want, and that's what we'll ask for, is their most recent mortgage statement. That is the information that we underwrite off of and that we know it's a deal. Does Privy work in the Boise area? It's not blue on the map. So blue means they have MLS access. Boise and Idaho is a non-disclosure state. So when we buy and sell properties in Idaho, we don't have to tell anybody what we bought it for. It protects the buyer's privacy, which is awesome for buyers. But they do not have MLS info, so you cannot get it's all ballpark range. Doesn't mean it's bad, but it's the same thing. Like, even if you have PropStream or stuff, nothing is 1,000%. Don't rely on it. Take it all with a grain of salt. It's all third party. Yeah. But if you guys have Boise deals, I am your buyer in Boise. That's my home. Any other questions? Do you guys want to do some calls? And do we have anybody that has done look at Dustin. Why am I not surprised? Dustin up here raising his hand.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
I had a couple that I had a quick question on. I spoke with a lady who thinks her seller is open today. And the place, I was looking at it, it looked like it was comping just a little bit high. Okay. But I looked in the description and he had done 145,000 worth of updates. And he only bought it for, I think it was like a personal guy who did a fix and flip. But I was looking through it and he did an amazing job. The house that was comping pretty close had like super outdated kitchen, he definitely put a lot of value into it. The only thing was on the disclosure, they had a septic system that was, they have to pump it more often than normal because it's getting old. It does function, but like a regular pump schedule, it needs to do it a little more often. And they had an asking price offer, but then he asked for the concessions like you were talking about. He said, well, cut us 15 back so we can put a new one. And the guy's totally not willing to negotiate at all because he's got all this money into it. You know, who knows? It might have been his first fix and flip or whatever. But she's talking to him to see if that's okay. I asked her to ask him how much it costs to pump each time. And then I should be submitting it soon. I just wondered, like, whatever it costs to pump, we need to add that in, right? For the investor.
I have a septic. It's not that much, really. I think it's like it's $1,000. It's nothing like a $15,000 setback or anything.
Yeah.
To pump your septic. You just have to get them out there. What state is it in?
Texas.
So, Texas, it depends on the state. Like, I'm in Washington and the state of Washington makes me get an inspection every single fall for $1,200.
No, this is Texas. You can do whatever you want.
You can do it as another reason. F Washington, F these states that want to tell you what to do. Right. So what I'm saying, if it's something like that, it's not that big of a deal. And you pump like every couple of years, like max. Okay. So it's not a huge expense. It should not be. And so, but here's where I'm wondering, he's a fix and flipper. Is he going to want to be open to creative?
That's what I said that right away. I'm being mean to him now. I'm like, listen, it's 30 years. You're getting nothing, or we can just get off this call. I was being mean. I was on it. I was just like, listen, this is what we do.
Let's not beat around the bullshit bush.
I got to call 100 people for 5 people to be interested. So let's get off this call, or let's talk about seller finance.
Let's be efficient with our time. I love it.
She was really cool. She said she's going to call me back. But I just wanted to check with you because I didn't know how much the pumping was and if it's not worth even submitting because it's fine.
It's like in the grand scheme of things. So a lot of things, you said a lot of good things that I want to point out too. So you said that you didn't want to they're stuck on their price. Was it what? I don't remember what it said. If they're stuck on a price and you said it comped a little bit higher.
Yep.
We are willing to pay a little bit higher if they'll give us, and you don't tell them this, don't give them the cards. And I know you won't, but you don't want to be like, hi, we'll pay over ask if you do terms. Like we will not, what we like to say is we won't haggle you on price. We'll pay your price if you give us terms.
Yeah.
I'll pay for the agent. I'll pay for the closing costs. I'm going to make it worth your while. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't like, there's a crack in the driveway, please. You know, like these like little tit for tat things, like give us terms and we're good. As long as it's not a like over, like it's $1 million property that they're selling for like, that's comps at 500,000, you know, where it's like something that's like super out of the way, out of the ballpark. But if it's over, it's okay. The comps.
Okay. And then my bankruptcy guy who I talked to on Monday,
Yeah.
he as soon as I called, he forgot who I was and he goes, I don't want to sell. And I said, James, it's Dustin. I said, I talked to, and he said, oh, I forgot who you were. And then we started talking. I said, I called the county for you. I spoke to the lady. She was mean. They don't want to work with us. They're not trying to help you. And he was like, oh, well, I appreciate you doing all that. He said, I'm on the way into a meeting. I said, listen, James, they said they're not going to negotiate. And if you don't make $2,000 payment immediately, they're going to take your house. And he was like, well, I got to go in the meeting. I'll call you back later. I said, all right, let's talk. So I didn't bring up, do you want to sell at all? Because that was the first word out of his mouth. But I just kept stressing, you got to pay this money or they're taking your house. They're going to change the locks. They're going to put your tenants out and they're going to foreclose. So it might be a little bit of a longer
for $2,000. Yeah.
That's I mean, like you can find 2,000 anywhere, you know, if it's that good of a property, and it's a good property. He's got tenants. And so I don't understand, but I think that's going to work out. I'm just going to keep talking to him, keep calling him and remind him who I am. And hopefully that one will come around soon. So.
Yeah, I love how you're playing it. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, go watch last Monday's. He talked to him and what he did is like, oh, I'll talk to the HOA and that guy, right? I'll talk to the HOA. Yep. Yeah. And so he's just playing it as like, I'm helping. I love that you're like, I'm here to help. So that's how you talk to pre-foreclosures and then be like, listen, I can pay it or I can help you, you know, like, let's get this. I'm happy to take over your payments if you want. I'll pay your HOA fee, which just seems so silly for someone to give up a house for a $2,000 HOA fee that the ex-wife didn't pay.
Right.
Is what. So you're playing the long game with this. We're buddies. You're making him your buddy. And that's that's one of Dustin's really strong points is he's like, we're pals. You know, he talks to you like you're just two guys shooting the shit. So I love it. You're killing it, Dustin.
Thank you. So yeah, I can do agent calls. We've been calling all morning and
I love it.
I found the one, but you know, I got to wait to hear back, but yeah, we can do some calls real quick.
Yeah. And you guys, Dustin's so good at these calls and he's going to do some calls for you guys. I highly recommend that you guys raise your hand, get up here, learn how to do some calls with us. It's scary as hell. It's really scary, but it's pretty cool. You'll learn a lot and you're taking action. So
it said I cannot share my screen because
I need to give you share screen. Look at you.
Shut me down.
So Dustin's going to show us, will you take us through why you picked that city and state, why you feel like this is a worthwhile lead to call, like the motivations and stuff. Just take us through your process of your thoughts.
So I chose, where's my privy at? It's not showing. I chose Texas because it was a huge population growth. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
It's not sharing this. Oh, I got it open now. Now I'll share again.
There you go.
And boom, got it. And share. So I chose Texas area because there's tons of people moving there. It's they have huge cities like Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth, Austin. There's great cities and the population growth is huge. The home prices are nice and high, so there's a lot of flexibility. I was calling Houston today. But I call all around the different ones just to get it comfortable with
Love
the
it.
area. And I just zoom in there. There's good jobs. There's a lot of good jobs there. I mean, it's just a great place, great weather. It's kind of why I chose the Texas market. And
It's a
then
hot, a lot of people are moving there and a lot of investors are investing there. So he's thinking with the end in mind. We're going to have buyers there and investors will be happy with these leads.
so I have Privy. I just put the surrounding area in that. And then the filter, I checked today, Houston's a little bit lower. So I was doing just 400,000 because I think it was 260 in Houston. And then 90 days or more on market. So we know that the market's told them no for 3 months straight. They've consistently heard no. So hopefully they're going to be a little bit more open, have a little bit more of a pain point. Boom.
Look at
Then
all
you can
those.
You can go on to any of these and click on the bubbles, then it blows you up. And then when we scroll through, Carly's given us the criteria on the sheet. And then like this is a bomber. We're not looking at that. Around 1960 is about as old as we want to go. This is brand new, so no one's bought it yet, so I won't look at that. 1930 is too old. That's tiny. We can look at this one. It's a cash buyer. So once you click on it, there's photos, usually not many if it's a not so pretty house like this one, probably. And then when you scroll down here, it has the comps already for you. So you can look at houses that are nearby. This is the distance away on the same street or close by. So something that's 100 square feet more, which is pretty close, is going for 250. The bedrooms, bathrooms all match up, and there's no garage on this one. So if I wanted to dig a little further, I'd find one that matches identical. Attempt to. And then if the comp looks good, ours is 235. I would say that this is okay. It's comping okay. And then as you scroll down, you can look at the mortgage history. Like Carly was talking about earlier, the percent, it's a cash buyer. I knew already, but this is where it would tell you that. And then the property listing here is where we're going to find out how much equity they have. If they bought it last week, there's no equity. If they bought it 25 years ago, there's going to be a lot of equity, usually. And it looks like this one last sold in 2018 for nothing, 25,000. It looks like maybe it was a public auction foreclosure, maybe. Yeah. So this person though is in control of the house, Jose, and it looks like we could go ahead and give him a call. Everything, what was the price on this? 235. That seems high for this little bitty house. What was the square feet? Square feet's 1,200. Yeah, this one's a bomber. But it is a cash buyer, so we might be able to, if we called them, we might be able to work with them and get it down some. But yeah, we'll look at another one. This one looks a little balmy.
And it's okay if they're balmy too. So like this one that's all gray, go back up. That is definitely, I'm going to tell you right now, that's hard money. Hard money means you don't want it. No. Everything's gray. It means that they need to pay their lender back right away, and it's high.
Oh, here we go. 1992, 159. This looks pretty good. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Let's see where it's comping at.
So why does that look good?
The house looks like it's bigger than the one. Oh, it's a little bit smaller. It looks like a nicer neighborhood. The everything looks clean on the outside. It has the carport in Texas. That's nice. The price is 100,000 less than the previous one.
Nice.
It's got an extra bedroom on the closest comp, and it's 10 grand under or 6 grand lower. So it could be something. No mortgage. So was it a cash buyer?
So then it would probably be a seller finance situation. Is this high days on market?
Oh yeah, they all are. Yeah, this is 105.
So we're going to go to high days on market because the market is not buying it. The market is telling them, no, thank you.
Lots of price drops here. They show you the desperation right here. They started off at 185. They moved down to 170. They keep moving down because nobody's interested. So that gives us a little bit of a leg up when we're trying to negotiate with them. I try to check the taxes out too, because Rick always gets on me about that. Property tax, $95. That can't be right.
Yeah, Texas has high property tax,
Yeah,
but they
that can't
also
be
have
right.
low income tax.
That can't be right. Then at the top, it'll show the listing agent. Right here, it looks like Bridget Jordan. I gotta move you guys out of my way here. So then I'll just highlight that. Go to search. Then on the search, it popped it up right away, but usually I'll add in the search, Realtor, Texas, and just to make sure, but it popped this up right away. Then it will have Bridget's phone number right there. I can use my phone. Oh, actually, let me use yours. Yours is way louder. I got the iPhone 3, so you can't really hear anything on it. This one's way better.
Gotta upgrade that.
I'm gonna. It is coming. Bridget.
So he's calling her and he's going to talk about the 4
Hillers.
pillars. Motivation, we kind of got that, but we're going to find out why they're moving. Timeline, condition, and price.
Hello,
Is this Bridget?
it is.
Hi, Bridget. This is Dustin. I was calling about your listing on Brewster Street.
Uh-huh.
I just had a few questions on this property. Is there an HOA on this one?
No,
There's not. Okay, great. Is the seller still living in the property?
partially, yes.
Okay, yeah. It looks like maybe they did some upgrades on this one.
Yes, a few.
Okay,
Not more than like granite countertops, but the flooring, is wood flooring, but, the countertops are the original.
okay. And then are the appliances that are in the pictures still there?
The refrigerator, yes, and the
Okay.
stove, yes.
Okay, perfect. So, are they looking, have they already got a new place that they're living and they just come back to check up on it or?
Partially.
Okay, okay. No, I gotcha.
Yeah, she just, not gonna officially leave until it closes.
Right, totally understand. Well, the reason I was calling you was I do the outreach for my team and we're buying in this area and we usually turn these into rentals. Would this be a place we could do that with?
Definitely.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, it looks like, sometimes they have restrictions, that's why I asked.
Yeah, no,
Okay, great. Well, my final question is, do you know if they would be open to seller finance? So that's all we're
No.
doing right now. They're not?
no, they're not, no.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate your time.
Mhm,
All right,
bye.
thanks, Bridget.
He doesn't beat around the bush. Good
We
job.
gotta get 100 calls done, so let's get through
Yep.
it.
Give us some time.
And then I get back on here and I scroll down to the next one.
Yep. And what you can do is be like, if they say no to seller finance or anything, you can be like, if they're open to it, let me know. I'll pay your commission. I'll pay closing costs. I will blah, 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 make it worth their while.
And I usually ask if they have other people. It's just because that was kind of on the spot. I write down their names and the address. I didn't do all my normal things, but yeah, normally
Yep.
I'll say, well, that's okay. Is there anyone else who
Yep.
you're representing? And and then I also add that we're going to buy in this area. And if you have anyone in the future, please reach back out to me. Because when they know you have money and you're going to spend, that's in their mind. Because they're used to dealing with one-time Charlies that are just going to buy once and they never hear from them again.
Yes.
I try to keep that fresh in their mind that we will be buying here. You will hear from us. We are in this area. So,
Yeah. And you can also be like, David was like, would it be worthwhile to ask why? Absolutely. Be like, can you tell me be like, I totally get it. Like, I got it. We can, and ask why and be like, if they decide any different, we can offer them I'll pay for you, I'll pay for the closing costs, blah, 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 blah. And so what he could have, like, he was just going through it fast, but you can also be like, he can also be like what Angela said, can you tell me, it's been on market for 105 days. Can you tell me why? Or like, what is your plan? Oh, they're not open to it. What's your plan if it stays on market for another 105 days? So you want to take them down that road for sure. Thank you, Dustin.
Yes.
David, do you want to give it a shot? Okay. We'll see. There we go. There we go. So I'll take down, and then Dustin's just killing it. He's like, let's see, where are you? Here we are. Let's add a spotlight. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for raising your hand.
Of course.
It's scary, and I appreciate you raising your hand. It just shows you're an action taker. So do you have a property you want to call on? Or should we go find one?
I would love the practice of finding one because I'm calling off of other groups' list right now. So
Okay.
I don't know how to find them yet.
Okay, so
that's the first time I've seen that.
Okay. So Dustin went through it super fast. So I'm going to go through, and I'm going to go through it a little bit slower. So what we want to do is, he did a great job. So I like Redfin. Oops. You guys can pick whatever one you want. I like Redfin because I just do. I don't know. So I want to go to a market where it's investor friendly and the people are moving to. So I gave you guys the Texas, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, blah, 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 blah. Why isn't Redfin working? Because I can't spell redfin.com. Okay. So pick, give me a state. I'm going to do Idaho because it's my, I like Boise. This is my market. I'm going to do it for me too. Okay. Boise, Idaho. Landlord friendly state. People are moving there. All right. Then I'm going to find houses. I'm going to go all filters. And so motivation is 90 days plus on market. So it's been on market for 3 months and no one's biting. I'm going to uncheck coming soon, and I'm going to uncheck under contract and pending. And just for the hell of it, we'll just do a house only. We don't want to get into condos. Condos have HOAs, same with townhouses. Okay, so here we go. We have 37 homes. So this is a really great place. Oops, I meant to go out, not in. I just know that this is a great right here. No, go in. Okay, right here is all like a really good place to start. Southeast Boise, East End, North End. So we are going to come around here. Another thing that we do is I'm going to search what is the average home price in Boise, Idaho. 468,000. So we want to, again, we're beginning with the end in mind. We want average home sales. I saw one for 300,000. That's not going to be our thing. So we'll do price range. I'll do like 200,000 above. So it was 4 or something. I feel like that's really low. Hold on. In 2033. Okay. 562. 568. I feel like, okay, I'm going to just say, I'm going to round up to 500,000 and then I'm going to go 2 higher or 150 higher. So I'll go to 650,700. Okay. So I'm getting average houses. So I found a place where people are moving to that's investor friendly, an average home price. Alex? What else? So we're beginning with the end in mind. And so now I'll go through, oops, I keep zooming out. So I'm going to go look over here and I'll just start looking at them. And we'll just start with this one. And I'll read about it, show more. Move-in ready. This looks very pretty. Let's see. The second level. Walking distance to the park, hiking paths, river rafts. So I like to look a lot. This one looks very pretty and not lived in. So this is likely a flip. This is my guess. There's a lot of gray and blue and it looks very not lived in. It looks very staged. So this is going to be like, it would be nice, but let's go to, it's rain cloud. So I'm going to go to Privy. If you guys have Privy. So we'll see if there's hard money on it. I would get with somebody that has Privy or get it. Okay, so I'm going to come down here to the mortgage information. There's nothing. Property history. It looks like they just built it. It was just built. So it's a new build. I'm not going to go to that one because likely it's a builder. They have a big loan on it from a bunch of different other properties. So I'm looking at this one. I'm like, this does not look like a real person lives here. Let's come to this one, 497. Now this, I'll look at these pictures. This looks like a person lives here. There's like an old lady table right here. And like stuff that doesn't look like a stager would do. It looks like a real person lives here. Great. All right, good condition. So let's read about it. Let's see, it's close to this stuff. It needs a hot tub, stainless steel. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to look for more motivation. And I'm going to come down here and go to where's the price history. They bury this. It used to not be. Okay, so this is the motivation right here. It was listed April. Oh, no. So there's no price drop on this one. Interesting. It was listed May 25th of 2023. It was listed as pending in June in 2023. And then, so something fell through. So I would say, David, be like, I'm calling about your house on Sundial. I'm very interested. Tell me about it. Do you guys have any offers? So we want to get the agent talking. I do not like to say the word investor. I don't like to be an investor because they think you're going to lowball me. You're going to try to cut me out of here. Like you're a wholesaler. Like you just don't have good, be like, I buy and sell properties and my team, just like Dustin did. He's like, my team is buying here. This is where we are buying. And we're just looking, can you tell me, I always like to set the stage and be like, I can represent myself. So they don't think they're going to represent me and the seller. You want to set that. I mean, can you tell me about it? Do you have a lot of offers? Do you have any activity on it? I see it's been listed for how many days? Let's find out. Since May, over 90 days. Usually it has 90 days exactly. Can you tell me why they're moving, why they're selling, find their motivation? Just make a lot of open-ended questions, get them talking. And then I would be like, so we're looking for people. I noticed, so we want to be like, I noticed there's some pain. Don't say pain. Be like, I noticed it's been on sale for 90 days. And what my team and I do is we specialize in people that we help people that are having a hard time selling their house. We usually buy, subject to the existing mortgage or seller financing, depending on what that's going on. Do you know if your seller would be interested in this? I feel like I just talked a lot. Do you have any questions, David? Oh, you got muted. Did I unmute you? Okay, here you go.
Sorry, I'm used to muting myself when I'm not talking.
I know. And then it doesn't let you unmute yourself.
No, I think that all sounds good. 8163 North Sundial. I'm not getting that in my privy, so I'm
You're not.
confused.
Let's see. Copy. Let's see. Oh, I did
one. Double checking.
Sometimes it's hard. Let's see. There, it's right. It's sometimes you just have to, it will auto populate sometimes. So it's not in here. You can look at the mortgage history.
Got it. Is that the same house?
Yep. So they have about 90, they have like $100,000 loan from 2018. So at a 4.6% interest rate. This, I usually should tell you to look at this first. This is not a no deal. This would be a hybrid deal where we would take over the mortgage and then also seller finance their equity. They have a lot of equity. So we can do something with that. That's called a hybrid deal. Do you want to call on this or do you want me to call on this and then you can?
I'm happy to call on it. So
Yes. Okay. So
we're saying though that the key is that we're looking for them to be open to seller financing, or because it's hybrid, should I position it differently?
nope, that would be fine. So with agents, I always like to use seller finance because it's something that they're comfortable with and they understand more than subject to, which is taking over the existing loan. And then they're like, oh, it's assumable. Assumable means you go to the bank, they check your credit, they check your taxes, and it goes on to your credit. So we don't want that. So we just say something, would they be open to like more of a creative offer, like a seller finance offer, or that? And then they'll be like, sometimes they're like, no, because they don't get it, and be like, can you tell me why? Or sometimes people are like, they just need one lady I talked to, find out what their motivation is. So like one person might be like, they have cancer and they need every bit of money out of this house to move into like a cancer treatment place or something. Like that would not be ideal for us or them. So we are problem solvers and we want to see if we can help solve, because obviously, and then we take them down and be like, can you tell me why it hasn't sold in 90 days? Like, do you have any offers? So you take them down the road of, I see that you're having a hard time selling this. Can I help you sell this? I'm on your team. So, and then also, yeah, Angela puts a really, really, really a good point in there. She says, you might want to bring up high taxes they're going to have about a $400,000 profit. So that's another thing. They're going to have to pay 30% of that right now to Uncle Sam. And so with a seller finance deal, they're not going to have to pay a huge tax bill after they sell this, because we break up the payments over several years. So it's not taxed 30% on $400,000. Very good point, Angela. So, all right. I think you're good. I'll stop talking now. So Angela did a quick calculation. Thank you, Angela. And she's like, well, I can save, it's $120,000 in taxes that they're going to have to sell, and be like, I can help them save $120,000 on their tax bill. Thank you, Angela.
So if I say that and they're like, how? Like, I don't understand the maths under that. So
Yes. So, I love that you asked that. So they owe I'm going to round it up to $100,000. Their mortgage, as we can just tell right now, is $99,000. I'm rounding it out to 100. They're asking, what are they asking for it? Hold on.
429.
Yep. So they're asking pretty much, I'm rounding up 500,000. So once they sell this traditionally, let's do some math together. So they sell this traditionally, they're going to have a $400,000 profit just after mortgage payoff. And then a quick math equation, I do 400. Actually, let's do it this way. So that's, they're going to make 400,000. The federal government will tax them on that $400,000 they made at 30%. Let's take it a step further. 497, I'm going to round up to 500. 500,000 is what they owe. And then I do times 8%. So times 0.08, that is $40,000. So that's how much they're going to have to pay to sell their house, is $40,000. They're gonna have to pay their agent. They're gonna have to buyer's agent. They're gonna have to pay closing costs. And then on top of that, 40,000, Angela did this thing. Angela's doing math over here. Thank you. And then she's doing how much they're going to have to pay in taxes. So she shows us 500,000 minus 100,000 is $400,000 is what they make, times 0.3, which is 30%, which is what you're taxed on for selling your house, is $120,000. So that's just their tax bill is $120,000. And I took that same amount times their sales price times 0.08. No, yeah, 0.08. It's 8%. That's what they're going to have to sell. So they're going to have 120 plus $40,000, which is 8% of what it costs. These people are going to probably have to spend $160,000 out of pocket. So with a traditional sale, they'll get $400,000 is what they'll make, minus $120,000 in their tax bill, just in taxes, minus $40,000, which is closing costs, realtors, and taxes and all that stuff. They'll stand to make $240,000. That's out of a $400,000 profit. That hurts. That is a lot of mathing right there. So, and you may not want to go down that road.
I may not, but I like being
But you
prepared.
get it
That's
now,
helpful.
right?
Thank
Like,
you.
so
Yeah,
you can,
that's huge. Thank you.
yes,
Thank you,
you're
Angela,
welcome.
too.
Thanks for asking that. And let me say one more thing before I take you over. On Redfin, they want you to come to Redfin agent Nicole Stewart because it's big and beautiful. That's not, you want to always go to the listing agent, which is listed by Julie Bardsley. So what I do to find her is like copy and Google. So you want to call the agent, the listing agent right there. And sometimes you can go to this and sometimes they have their cell phone. Do not, if it's to the brokerage, ask for their cell phone number. You don't want to talk to an agent that's not the listing agent because then they're going to try to weasel their way into your deal. And so just so you know, we represent you. We can represent you as an agent. You don't need another agent. So, all righty. I'm going to stop talking now and let you go.
All right. So we're calling Julie in Boise about the listing on 8163 North Sundial Way.
Yes.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
I can hear you.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 20857174227 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Julie, my name is David, and I'm calling about the North Sundial listing here in Boise. I'm looking at the pictures here and have a couple of questions. You can call me directly. My number is 208-254-2021. Again, that is 208-254.
I muted you because I didn't want this is live streaming to YouTube and I did not want everybody calling you. I wanted
That's
to
okay.
protect your privacy. Are
Thank
you from Boise? Do you ever really have a 208 number?
I don't really have a 208 number, but I am in Meridian.
Oh, you are. So you are in Meridian. Great area. I miss it there.
Wait, you were born in Utah and then raised in Idaho?
Kind of. I was born in Texas, raised in Utah, but my mom is from Oregon, like Nissa and Fruitland, And
Same
so
Idaho.
we had a cabin we still have it in McCall on the lake. And so like I spent my summers there. I moved there my senior year of high school. I went to U of I, like Idaho's my home. So, but yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, you did a good job. Do you want to try another one?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I promise I won't take so long.
No, it's okay. This is what this is for. So I'll let you share do you want to Because I just did the whole thing for, do you want to do it? Share your screen and do the whole,
Can I share my screen?
yeah. Well, while you're doing, Aaron says, what was your method for choosing what part of city to search in? I just picked downtown Boise and I just know that area and I want to buy there. So that's why I put it there. He's in Meridian, which is not where we searched. Great area too. Steve said, do we triple dial the agent? Good question. It went straight to voicemail, so I don't think that's going to help. It might help if you just send her a text and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I left you a message. That's something. If it goes straight to voicemail, I don't think triple dialing is going to work. But you guys had great questions. Rima says, if they still have a loan on the property, their tax would be different. Also, if it's their primary, that's true. That's very true. Yes, if they lived there within the last 2 years, some states like California, taxes are different. Yes, I just did a whole ballpark range of 30. It will change based on different things. Karima is absolutely right.
Okay, so 90 days, and then I have it up to 600K. Is that what you had?
Yeah, 600-700, you're fine. And where he's looking, this is West Boise. That's a good area too. There's no bad areas. I just want you, because you guys were asking, why did you pick that area? Boise is just a good area. There's no really bad parts of Boise.
This is David.
Hi, David. This is Julie Bartley with Voice Premier. You called a little bit ago. I literally left my phone in my car, and ran to the house to grab something. Sorry about that.
I knew you were on the run. That's why I called.
That's kind of life right now. So you have some questions. It's life.
Yeah.
For everybody. But you had some questions about Sundial.
Yeah, I just closed the list. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up here. I guess while I'm doing that, I'm looking at, the pictures, and I'm curious, is there anything about the house that the pictures isn't telling me? Like, tell me the story on this house.
Okay, well, part of the thing with this house is a couple things. One, it is on a slab. Now, that's in the MLS listing, is on slab, and it's not a crawl space. Some people don't have problems with that. Some people do, because, we're in Idaho.
Sure.
The other thing is the backyard backs up to, are you real familiar with Boise, David?
Not that side of it. I'm in Meridian.
Okay. So are you familiar with the Hill Parkway?
Yes.
The Road Parkway? It's kind of a split road that goes from Hollister to the Eagle area.
Sure.
Are you familiar with that?
Okay.
The backyard actually backs up to that.
Okay. So like a busy street or something.
It's a busier street, yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And we were in contract, but the other people had a contingency to sell their property in Mountain Home, and it fell through. So we were stuck off market for about 45 days.
Got it. And has there been a lot of interest? Because it looks like it's still been on there for a while.
It has been on there for a while. Out of the gate, rich showings, we have them sporadically. The market is just not great right now for sellers.
Sure. Okay, and
It's definitely a buyer's market.
yeah, well, I can work with that. Is the home occupied right now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And do they have any kind of contingencies, or what kind of timeline would they need if there was a serious offer in place?
Well, let me just, in perfect transparency, she's older.
Okay.
So keeping that in mind. The flip side of that is that she's aware that she's been ready to have the house sold. I think a 30-day close would be reasonable. I think a 2-week might just freak her out, honestly.
Okay, well, we're not looking to scare anybody.
Primarily, yeah, primarily because of her age, you know.
Sure. Yeah, understood. Okay. And I guess, has it been through any kind of renovations? Is it going to need any work? Like, can you tell me about the condition of the property?
The house is in pretty good shape. She maintains her home well. She purchased it 5 years ago. It does still have the original HVAC systems in it,
Oh,
but
okay.
the roof's in good shape. Everything's in pretty good shape. We did do, you know, the buyers did go through an inspection. And so the inspection went well. They had a few things they wanted fixed. They were fixed. So, but nothing obviously of any concern.
Sure. Okay, and then talk to me about price. Or like, would she entertain a reasonable offer, or is she pretty firm? Is that where she wants to kind of exit?
I mean, obviously she's going to want to get as close to that as possible, but the reality is the reality. I mean, the reality is, since we put it on the market in May, the prices are still sliding down,
Yeah,
and that's the reality.
sure. Given how long it's been on market, I mean, would she be open to any kind of seller financing kind of deal?
No, I'm positive on that.
Oh, so you've presented something like that to her already?
I just know that, given her age,
Mm-hmm.
she's not going to want to get into something like that.
Sure. I'm looking at the numbers here, and I'm an investor, so this is how I think. But it looks like,
Right.
she got into this for like 100K, and obviously she's trying to sell it for just under 500K. And if I'm doing my maths right, which should be double checked and is questionable at best, but it's looking like, she's going to sell for a $400,000 profit, and 30 of that is going to go to taxes.
Well, it wouldn't be a $400 or $400,000 profit because of the original purchase price.
Oh, it looks like my list is saying that this was purchased at like 100,000. The mortgage is about
Oh
100,000.
no, no, yeah, no.
Oh, okay. See, you're only as good as your data.
That's not accurate information.
Fair enough. Okay.
I actually was her agent when she purchased that house, by the way.
Oh, so you've been in the game for a while.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Well, you probably know her well then. But again, this is my bread and butter, is kind of working with properties that are difficult to move and finding ways that are win-win. Certainly, we would take care of agent fees and closing fees and things like that. And we're looking for, things that rent well and are in good areas. And so if you do continue to have trouble with this and feel like she might be open to exploring it, I'd be happy to talk. And if I can't help, I'll give you a straight answer. But if I can, I'd like to explore it further.
Okay. So did you have a price in your head? I'm just curious.
Well, I kind of had run some numbers, and now it doesn't look like they were that accurate. So I would need a little bit more information on what that mortgage was and things. So I don't have a price, but certainly, again, if you're willing to take something with her, I'll get my partner, who's the actual numbers person, and can speak intelligently with you.
You understand, I wouldn't be giving you any information about any kind of.
Sure. No, I would not ask for that. No, not at all.
Why
But
have people ask me that?
oh well, I mean, you can ask, but I would trust you not to tell.
Yeah, I mean, you don't give people's information out like that.
Agreed.
Not okay. Not okay.
But it sounds like, if my partner were to call you, could you talk to them about the numbers a little bit more closely and see if there's a path forward that makes sense for your client and for you?
Yeah, I guess. I'm sorry, I've got a million things on my head right now, but
That's all right. I caught you on the run, but is there a time that works good for you to take a call? I'm happy to schedule that and look at his calendar.
I'll be honest, I'm right in the middle of kind of a complicated project.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a hit and miss with me, so, but I always check my phone and, return calls. I just do.
Great. Well, that's all I can ask for then. I'll have them reach out to you. It'll be a different number, but I'll have them reach out to you. And again, my name's David. I'll text over my information right after this. And we're looking to grow our presence in the Treasure Valley. So sounds like you already are well connected and know how to run numbers yourself. So if we can be helpful to you in the long run as well, I'd love to be top of mind.
Okay.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay, thanks, Katie.
Be well.
Nice work. That was so good. How do you feel? You're so brave. That's so scary.
Well, I felt like I felt pretty confident until I found out my numbers weren't quite right. So then I
Okay.
kind of lost some steam and had trouble getting
You
what I
did,
feel like a strong lead.
you did a very good job. So just so you know, this is like the first time you've called, right?
I mean, I've been calling on my own list,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing it in front of people, which is freaking scary on a Zoom. So everyone give David a round of applause. You did amazing. And I don't want you to be hard on yourself, like if you are at all. So the numbers, what you were looking at is what's left on the mortgage. So that's what's the remaining. So, which is okay. And so she's just like, no, she bought it for more than $100,000. But what you did is you were building. I love how you started it out. You're like, oh, I got you on the run. I knew like you are friendly and you weren't pushing anything too hard. Like you are just like, okay, I'm just here. I'm on a fact finding mission. So just so you know, your numbers weren't off. What I would say is you worked it in eventually and you did a great job. You'd be like, we offer seller finance. We'll pay for you, the agent, the commissions, closing costs. Would she entertain it? And then she's like, she's too old for that or something. I think she said at her age or something. And so, you did a great job. Another thing you could say is, we could give her a little bit of cash to start out with, and then she'll have a payment each month. And what people, the overcoming the objection, I was like, they're going to die in 10 years. So it doesn't even matter. I don't need a 30-year thing. So what we can do is you can put their payments into a trust. And so their kids or whoever they leave their estates to and their heirs to their throne will go to them. So like one guy, Frank, I wanted to buy a duplex right next to ours. And he's like, I hate my kids. They don't talk to me. They're assholes. I'm not leaving anything to my kids, blah, 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 blah. All I like is elephants and animals. And I'm like, Frank, I hear you. I love animals more than people too. I'm like, listen, if you don't want to leave anything to your son, we can make a trust to like conservetheelephants.com or whatever trust it is. And after you're gone, the elephants are going to get a monthly payment from you and me. So that is a really good way. That's to overcome the age objection. So it will be, or if they want to move into a home or something, they have that consistent payment coming in and their kids, it's like giving back to their kids after they die. It will always be a thing. So you did amazing. You did a great job. You were non-threatening. You started it out confident and funny, and you were building rapport. And that first start out is like crucial to the whole call of like how they react to you. So you killed it. What happens, Rick says, what happens if the house doesn't sell? Yeah. So that the way you started it, you're positive, you're upbeat. And what you did, like, if you're like, I got my numbers wrong, like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, is you were like, let me have my partner is the numbers person. Let me have them call you. You killed it. You did so good. So any other feedback? Let's see. Yeah, Mo says that start set the whole tone. Great job, David. We have Dustin raise his hand every time, and David is here for the first, or raise your hand. So thank you for doing this, David. It's hard to get people to raise their hands and do this and take action. A lot of people like to just consume over taking action. So I appreciate you. Should I call? When did she say? I wasn't listening fully. When did she say is a good time? Do you guys want me to call back and like repitch it to her, like for the number situation right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't speak for everyone, but I think that
Yes.
would be a really nice follow on.
Yes. Steve writes, David and Dustin are the cold calling Avengers. Okay.
I want to
So
be Dustin when I grow up.
you guys are killing it. So it's just taking the action. Do you know what the difference between you? It's like you guys are actually taking the action and actually doing it and doing the scary stuff. So, ODL says, and that answer about the age, it sounds like it's the agent's assumption, not the sellers. That's a good
That's
point.
what I keyed in on is like, oh, so you actually haven't presented this. You're deciding on behalf of them, and like I think we could offer you something compelling that's worth presenting.
Yeah. And the way you said it was like, oh, like the way you approached that was like, oh, well, you must know them more than me. So you like deferred, you're like, well, you must know them. And then to kind of be like, you're just assuming, right? And I feel like that was a very positive way to be like, and like bowing down and being like, okay, well, you must know, you're the expert, you sold her. And then she's like, well, I don't know, maybe, and then she came around. So the way you worked with her, I just love the way it was like not pushy, and it was just very, you pointed things out without being rude about it, I feel like. And so anyways, I'll call her back. What was her number? Let's see. I think I pulled it up.
You want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, will you? And I'll call from an Idaho number. So it's always nice when you call from the state.
Yeah, I was trying to set up my stuff like I saw Dustin had set up on the last call and totally failed. I didn't know you could only set up one Google number, so I'm calling for Tennessee mostly, but I set up an Idaho number first. I'm like, oh, I'm stuck with an Idaho number now, but it worked for today.
It worked for today. And so, Dustin, will you come on maybe Friday? We can do a little thing where we can show people, and David, you guys can show people how you set up the Google Voice. So you don't have to use your own number. Let's see. So here, what we're doing is I'm showing you guys how it's done in like real time. So David went and he searched and he found something and he called, and they were like, maybe. I'm not saying no, but I'm not saying yes. And then you'd submit it to us, and then we would call. And so you guys are going to see the whole shebang. So what's her name? Julie?
Julie.
Where was that number? There it is. 7427. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you guys how I would look it up. Am I sharing my screen? I'm not. I'm going to share my screen though, and I'll just show you guys what I would do. Okay, so I'm going to go to props, whatever it's called. Sorry, the faces are in the way. Okay, so let's get in here. And I'm just going to show you guys how I would look at it once it is put in here. So I just like to know. I'll play stupid and I'll ask questions. You're going to be like, David already asked that. Why are you asking this question again? It's just to build rapport. So I'll play stupid. Okay, so mortgage and transaction. So she has a 4.6% rate. And she has about $90,000 left on it. It's $500 a month. That's good. Okay. So then I might look and be like, I might do some math. That's a good payment, but that's only on $100,000 of it. So then we would have to seller finance the other 400,000 or whatever it is. So, and I have a little sheet that I can do in here. So let's call her 7427. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go call. I still get nervous when I'm called. Like for those of you guys that raise your hand and call on this, like I still get nervous. I don't know why, but here we go.
Put it to an automated voice messaging system. 2085717.
She's on Do Not Disturb. I'll send her a text.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Julie, my name is Carly Grunman, and you just talked to my partner David about your listing on Sundial and like a possible seller finance offer situation. When you get a chance, give me a call. My phone number is 208-340. We can just kind of see what's going on. Anyways, I'll shoot you a text. Give me a call when you get a chance. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so now I'm going to send her a text because she's on Do Not Disturb, just like me. So if she calls me back, it's going to go straight to voicemail. So now I'm shooting her a text. Recents with a message. I'll say, hi, Julie. It's Carly. I always put my first and last name because scammers usually don't. And then she can Google me if she wants. I feel like you're just more legit when you put your first and last name. So I'll be like, hi, my name's Carly Grunman. You just talked to David, my business partner, about your listing on Sundial. And possibly looking at a seller finance offer. Give me a call when you get this. All right. We're 5 minutes over right now. We'll see if she calls me back. So I don't know if you guys can see. I shared my contact information. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's like, hey, Julie, this is Carly. Here's my number. I don't think you guys can read it very well. It says, you just talked to David, my business partner, about your listing on Sundial and possibly looking at seller finance offer. Give me a call when you get this. So we'll see if she calls me back. But do you guys have any questions? And we can ask. Yeah, Angela's like, it's a good payment for her. I wonder why she's leaving. So I'll show you guys what I do in the back end. So I have this little fun little situation to underwrite a deal. I'll show you what it looks like on our end. Okay, where is my thing? I'm sharing the wrong browser. I wonder if it's in here. Okay. So this is what I do. This is a sub-2 document that I love. Okay. So I put in right here, I can do some math while I wait for her. So this is, they're selling it, they have like $400,000 probably that they would, seller finance. So that's a good chunk. I'm going to start with a $10,000, which is a 2.5% down payment. Why is this not working? Loan amount. This should not. I don't know why it's doing this, but it would be 350,000. This should fix itself. So this is it would be no, I don't know how to do math. A $390,000 loan because we put 10% down at 2.5% amortized over 30 years. That's not right. Interest rate, that would not be an $81,000 monthly payment. I feel like I need to stop sharing. So this, let me start with another. I just have the wrong thing. Hold on. I think I'm pulling from a document that's not, it doesn't have it. It's not correct. Okay. Make a copy. Okay, so let's do this again. Purchase price, 400,000. I can't type, you guys, with people watching me. Let's put a $10,000 down payment. So there, it automatically goes $390,000 loan amount. Interest rate, let's do 2.3 over 30 years. Okay, so that would make my monthly payment. I'll show this to you guys. 390,000 at 2.3% rate, which you can't get now. $10,000 down, it's $1,500, which shows she would get this much right here, you guys. She'd get a total of $530,000. She'd get $130,000 in interest over 30 years, 131,000, and total would be 530,914. So she would make money. This is a long play for her. This could go to her thing. So
A
monthly
long play,
payment.
but 130 over asking.
Yeah, because she's the bank.
Yeah.
And it's over 30 years. This is a balloon due in 20 years. So if they want to go lower and be like, okay, 15 years, then they'd make an extra $108,000 by being the bank. So when I write an LOI or an offer, that's what I send to them. It's like a copy of this. So then we know, what did we find? We found out that her payment is what? Did we say? Do you guys remember? It was like $500 or something a month.
Yep.
So then you can come in here. This is how I underwrite a deal. Let's find out what the rent would be. So if you guys go to Zillow, I have 8 million tabs open. What is this address? Let's see. Hold on. Do you guys remember the address? Okay, 8163 Sundial.
North Sundial.
Okay, so I'm going to see 81. Sundial. Okay, I'm going to go to Zillow because this is not the best thing. So there's better ways to get a more accurate thing, but this is just like rough numbers for underwriting it. Rent's estimate, $2,250. Okay. So come over here. And I know that it's $2,250 for rent monthly, and that comes out to $70,000 a year. And then we had, what was it, $1,500 for the seller finance portion and $500 for the sub 2. So this is how you underwrite a deal. Let's see if it makes sense. I'm not gonna do. I don't know why this is stuck at 100 right there. Insurance, I would do $1,500 per year. Property taxes. I'm gonna do $1,500 for that. Then we want, this is the war chest, which is CapEx and maintenance. You put 20% of what you'd make. Oops, sorry, 10% of what you'd make to maintenance for future, 10% to management, and 5% to vacancy. So we call that a 25% war chest. So if you need a roof or something, you're withholding money. So right now, you would cash flow. That's not right. $2,250. Why isn't this making sense? So I don't know why it's saying cash flow here. You would make $2,250 a month.
Calculator. I don't know if
My
that's
calculators, I don't think my calculator, I need to make a copy because I always screw these up. But basically it should come out here and tell me you can get $2,250 a month, and $2,100 a month is what you will spend in what you can get as a long-term rental. So it will cash flow like a couple $100. It's not a lot, but you could also do, this is a long-term rental situation. If it cash flows long-term, it'll cash flow midterm or short-term. You're not seeing my screen? After all that, you guys, I'm not seeing the right
We're looking at your
screen. I'm
estimate
so
right now.
sorry. Let me show you guys. You guys are just stuck on the wrong screen. Here, let's bring this one over here. So what I was showing you guys is I come here and I do, this is her equity, 400,000, put down 10,000 to the thing. So then their loan is for 390 at a 2.5 rate. Oh, I moved screens. That's why, because this one wasn't working here and it's still not working. Just a second. Let me just share my entire desktop. Okay, this is the right one. Okay. You guys, I can't share the right screen to save my life. Here we go, finally. Seller finance. So this isn't even it. I just give up. Hold on. Okay. So $400,000 is her equity. I give her $10,000 down. That brings our loan amount to 390 at a 2.3% interest rate, paid over 30 years, also called amortized over 30 years. Our monthly payment would be $1,500 a month. And then you come over here and you can see right here how much money she would make if we paid her out at 15 years, at 20 years, how much she would get. So then I come over here and I've put, she makes $2,500 a month, or she makes long-term, it will make $2,500 a month. I don't even have the right one again. Cheese and crow. I just am going to give up, you guys. I can't, I have 12,000 of these open. Basically what I do is I put the principal and interest here. So it'd be $1,500 a month. Is the seller finance. I can't type either. I just need to give up, you guys. Seller finance. What would it be? 500 for the sub 2. This is all long-term. I'm going to do the insurances, 1,500. Property tax is 1,500. I'm totally guessing. I don't think there's an HOA. 10%. So this is the war chest I was talking about, the 25%, 10% for CapEx and maintenance, 10% for management, and 5% for vacancy. And after all of that, it's going to negative cash flow. That's okay. So some sellers will take that. It's okay if it negative cash flows. If you're doing Airbnb, a good thing is to say, make sure it cash flows long-term, because so it's going to have to be a Airbnb situation. Or you can just go and play with the numbers. So this is just me going through. There's no arrears on this. Cash to seller will be $10,000. Assignment fee is going to be at minimum at 10,000. Closing, that's decent. Holding. So the entry fee right here is $2,400. So that's the entry fee. $2,400 is that 10%, at least 10% of the ask. Yes. Any questions, you guys? I think I just went really deep and probably confused you guys, and we're going over.
It's
But
super valuable stuff. So thank you for going
yes.
over.
So, and then if you want, you can submit all of your deals to elevant.aurorainvest.com. And did you guys find this valuable? Did I go too deep? Tell me what you guys like, or you're like, she's just rambling. Like, shoot me straight, because I want to give you guys something that's super valuable. So this is something that we can look at, and maybe we can, your homework for next time is going to be let's do what David just did and Dustin just did, where you guys are looking at you're looking things up and we'll call. So bring a list or call and submit deals. So the next one is Friday. I'm going to start, I got to figure out a time for Friday. I think I'm going to start doing action takers only on Friday. So if you're submitting leads, if you're raising your hand in here, then you are invited to a special Zoom on Friday. It is not for the people that just want to watch. So submit if you guys have, what I'm going to do is next Friday, I'm going to invite everybody. And yeah, you guys have homework. If you did your homework, you're going to be invited. And if you submit leads and if you raise your hand and if you're active and you're doing stuff, you'll be invited to the Friday ones, which are going to be for action takers only. So your homework is go find your market, make a list and call agents where they're like, do exactly what David and Dustin did. Go through and also make a little list that morning of things that we can call, and we'll have you guys raise your hands. We'll call live. We'll give feedback. We'll do just like David did, being like, oh, I don't know, maybe I can have my partner call you. And then I'll call them back live, and we're just going to like do some deals. What's her name? Julie never got back to me, but all right. Good job, you guys. Thank you for coming. We went over by like 20 minutes today. So thank you for coming. And I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. See you Friday. Watch for the Elephant Challenge chat to find out when it is. Okay.